Hey guys, this is Tony and welcome to episode 2 of Speak by Tony Hong. Today I'll be talking about a little bit about me and where I started from. I think the first episode was about why I started this podcast and why I started these video recordings of myself, and then that was because, like I said, on I think it was July 13th when I was working out, I heard God tell me to speak. I think it was pretty clear. And it's like, I usually work out in the dark because it's around 4 o'clock in the morning, so I don't like to leave any lights on really. I might have a little night light on when I'm working out. But I heard him say speak, and I saw the word speak. And that was it. And that's all I heard, that's all I saw. And then from that on, I'm trying to speak a little bit more. Not sure where I'm heading with this, but I'm just taking it by faith and see where it goes. So today I'm gonna be speaking about myself and where I came from and who I am. I did a podcast a couple years ago with a friend of mine, Paul Kim, on his Operation Economy, and there I gave a little bit of about me and my story. And so I think I'm gonna probably repeat it and tell the story about where I came from. I was born in South Korea in the city area of Seoul. Seoul is so big that, within Seoul there's different, I think, like towns or cities within Seoul. But anyway, I was born there, and I was born in 1974. And I was born as a little person. So for those who know me, I'm only 4 feet 2 inches. So I was born as a little person and with dwarfism. And when I was born, I think the doctors were surprised. They didn't know what it was. I guess it was still foreign, and they probably just called it a disease, because to them it was unknown. As 74 in a country that was poor, but at that time probably starting slowly to develop over time. So the doctors told my mom that I probably wouldn't live that long. And I remember my mom telling me that the patient next to her told her to put a towel over my face or a blanket or something to suffocate me and just to let me die in peace, I guess. So it wouldn't be that I wouldn't live a hardship life, and then that my mom wouldn't have to endure the pain of trying to raise a handicapped child. But she didn't listen to that, and she decided to raise me. So I owe a lot to her, because if she did make that decision at that age, at that time, I wouldn't be here. So I give a lot of credit to my mom, and I, of course, have dedicated a lot to my parents for all that sacrifice that they did, because at that time, my dad was in Korea living a good life. Not a good life, but you could say a comfortable life. But the pain that my mom had to endure as a mother, to see her child being rejected by society, it hurt her a lot, and it cut a lot of wounds into her, I guess you could say. So I think around 3 or 4, she decided to leave Korea and move to the States. My dad didn't want to, because I believe that he was we were comfortable in Korea. We lived a good life, or living a good life at that time, so there was no worries. But my mom, I guess, insisted that we move to America. Because she would tell me that there were times where, well, everyone would look at me strange. I guess back then they didn't know what dwarfism was. They never saw a little person, and they probably just considered it more of a disease, more of a outcast of society. So there were times that she would tell me where she would take me to the park, and kids would all be all making fun of me, laughing at me. That it came to a point where she would take me to the parks at nights when no one was there, so I could still enjoy playing on the playground and enjoying trying to live a life as a child. But after probably a couple years, 3 years, when I was 3 or 4, she just did not want to stay in Korea anymore. I'm not saying Korea is a bad country. I would love to go back again. I think the last time I was there was about 23 years ago. But what I'm saying is that it was a country that didn't know what dwarfism was, what achondroplasia was, what a little person was. So it was foreign to them. It was unknown to them, so they just saw me as probably more of a freak or more of a alien. But I don't hold that against them. I think Korean people are very beautiful. I think all people are beautiful. It's just at that time they didn't know about it. And I'm sure it wasn't all of them. Because I remember being lost, and this is before we came here, being lost in Korea in one of the apartment complexes that we lived at. And I remember the security guard taking care of me until someone found me. I remember sitting in his booth. I don't know why I remember, but I remember sitting in his booth, and he was feeding me rice with water. You know, he put the water in the rice, and he would wash the kimchi, and he fed me that while I guess I was looking for where I belonged. But, you know, people are good. It's just that some people just don't know the difference. And I think that still goes with society today. But anyway, so my parents came here when I was about 3 or 4. I started my education here in kindergarten in Cliffside Park. I started kindergarten here, and that's where I got my name, Tony. From what I remember, from what I'm heard, from what I'm told, and what I recall, my kindergarten teacher named me Tony. I believe she was Italian. I don't know if I look like a Tony, but it grew on me. So this is who I am. This is my name, or my American name. So I take it. But going back to the story of how my life was. So we came here about, like I said, about 3 or 4. My mom decided to give everything up in Korea and just started a new life here. And my parents came here first with my sister. And then I think once they settled everything in, I came here with my brother and my grandparents. Started, like I said, my education here in Cliffside Park, number 3 school, I remember. And then, so if you went there in 1979, let me know. I wouldn't mind connecting with some people there. I remember a few names, but I don't remember I don't know where they are now. But anyway, yeah, and I remember when we moved from Cliffside Park to Tenafly, and we were living there for a while. I think my dad wanted to go back to Korea. He didn't like living in America. He wanted to go back to Korea because business was good for him. His companies were thriving. But my mom demanded that she's not going back to Korea because of me. So this whole move to America was because of me. This whole life shift for them was because of me. So I know that it's my turn now to take care of them, to make sure that I do my best to give them what I can. Not every day is a happy day. We still have our moments, especially when you work together. But I give it to my parents for sacrificing everything that they had in Korea to come to the US to give their life to a child that they didn't even know would last, especially when the doctors would tell them that I wouldn't live a long life. But so they sacrificed it all, they gave it all, and this is where I am today at 49. And my parents are still healthy and strong, but as you know, as they age, you get a little older. But that is my story. It's not as exciting as it seems, but at least you know where I'm coming from. And now that I have a child, I have two sons. One is of normal stature, and then the other one is a mini-me. And I'm blessed to have them both in my life with a beautiful wife who gives her all to this family. So I think life is about just being kind to one another. It's about respecting one another. I know we all have our moments. We have our shortcomings, and I have mine. I have my tempers. But I try to be good to people. Sometimes I just lose my patience at work because it just doesn't go in. I just lose my patience. But, just be kind. Everyone's fighting a fight. Everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has a hurt inside somewhere. I'm just grateful to have God in my life. And I'm grateful that my mom found God to bring God into our lives. And that's another part. I think without me being a little person, my mom probably wouldn't have found God. She told me that it was because of me. She, I guess, decided to give God a chance and pray to God and to see what God can do to our life. But before that, they didn't believe in Christianity. I'm sure she knew of it, but it wasn't something that they practiced. But when we were living here in the U.S. and living in the U.S., I remember, attending service in New York as a young child. I know my podcast is all over the place right now. It's like a ping pong ball, it's a ping pong machine, just hitting everywhere. I'm on one subject, going to the next subject, to the next subject. I'm trying to get better at this. But anyway, I just want to say that this is, where I'm coming from. Just if you see someone different, be kind. There's nothing hard about that. Just give a hello. I think people nowadays in society, the majority are very good people. Everyone's good. Everyone has their story to tell. There are assholes, within every culture, within every town. But overall, people are good. If you're good to them, they'll be good to you. If you say hello, they say hello. If you take out your hand to give it a handshake, they do their handshake. And men, just to the men out there, give a handshake. Don't do a fist bump. Fist bump are for kids. Men are supposed to shake hands firm, not loose. So just give a handshake. Give a hug to the person. Say hello, That hello can help someone. Maybe find hope in society again, hope in people. Buy the person behind you a cup of coffee. Buy the family next to you a meal if you can afford it. Be good, do good. It doesn't hurt. It's easier to do good than to do bad, right? It's easier to smile than to be pissed off and just give an angry face all day, which I tend to do sometimes when I'm at work. But I think overall it's just easier being good. So anyway, before I end it, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for the opportunity to give this episode a try, a listen. And like I said, I don't know where I'm going with this, but we'll see where it takes me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. And I appreciate everything that you guys do and are part of my life. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.